there, Taurus. This is Joy with Joy to the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies around you. How are you? How have you been? I'm glad to have you here. Excited to have this time to chat and see what's going on. I know y'all were hurling one phrase at me as I was getting everything cleared and ready to go. Y'all are saying, get me out of the garden of insanity. And I'm like, okay, we can do that. And then I pull out the indicator card, and it, of course, is the Sweat Lodge. You say you're tired of all this hard work. So in this moment, I feel kind of like I'm your Uber, and you've put in a call. Aries, I was the magic school bus lady, so we're going on a little magic school bus ride here. So that's the Uber you're calling in to pick you up from where you've been and take you where you want to go. That was obvious to me as I was getting some of the cards prepared, shuffled to be ready to go. And that's often why you don't see me shuffling much when I'm doing the readings. This is just noisy. But anyways, in the cuts of the deck, when I'm shuffling and moving the cards, it was a fine line between love and hate. It was a fine line between more of the same old, and bright new beautiful future. Right there, holding it in your hands, smiling heart, chest lifted, shoulders back, ears up and open and ready to go with like open hands, the hand of offering. But you're wanting to know, can anybody hear me? And the answer is yes. So help is on the way. We're going to do that in this moment, this energy session. That's kind of what these are. I'm not making promises or provisions of any sort. This is simply information coming to flesh out what is going on around us. I know I was not raised understanding the energy moving around me and what all it was, and definitely not how to interact with it, nor how it was taking action and impressing certain things upon me that I felt predisposed to. So we're just blowing all that out of the water. I've gassed up the bus and we are on our way here. So let's see what we're going to put right here. We're going to put the affirmators on this top row. Let's get some cards in here for Taurus. My Mars and my Moon are in Taurus. They sit right on top of each other. And so talk about some powerful feelings. Yes. I'm getting to work and move through those. So it's perfect that you guys are calling for that here. These are wanting to come out face up. Who's first? Who's first? Who's first? You definitely are. Okay. Do we want 3? No, 2 is good. Okay. And we're going to dive into the light seers to go down beneath it. I'm going to do one row at first. Down here, that's what's coming up. And we may get into a second. We'll see. We'll see. If we do, I'm going to hold on to that. Okay. So, since you're asking me, can I hear you? You're also calling out to spirit. You're calling out to deep or presumed deep. It is, you've been through deep waters to get where you are, but I see yourself kind of stuck off in a cove and the fog has rolled in and you don't know how to get out again. It's like, I followed the lighthouse, I should have made it to shore. I'm still stuck out in this deep water. Somebody help me. Where do I go? How do I do this? So I guess in this case, I'm a magic school boat coming along here for you. So this card conveniently just pushed its way on over there. Let's take a peek. 4 of Swords. I would say rest your weary heart and mind. You have been heard. Help is on the way in many forms. And for one, just somebody being able to GPS you. It's like you've been lost and I'm following your signal because we can see you got your handy dandy horn phone right here and you've been calling out and I'm following the GPS tracker on that to come find you so we can get you into the shore of your promises, of wish fulfillment, of dream manifestation, of touching, tasting, feeling, smelling, hugging, loving, all that it is that you've had going on in this sweat lodge factory of your heart. You're like, it's burning me up, and that would be tough for Taurus, coming in slow and low as opposed to hot and heavy, that it feels like it's taking forever. So we're going to blow that fog away, get you to shore, and see what is going on here with number 39. Restoring you back to your own creative power of seeing things face on, of clarity and strength. Standing, holding your head up high, and in a sense you're saying heads above the rest, but really not, okay? Because I'm here to tell you the truth and tell you what I see. Because when we stand in our truth, that is the best clarity of all, of simply holding your head up in your beingness, in your amness, which produces that amnios, is like the heart force field that is all around you, that allows you to walk in your truth. And when you walk in your truth, the dreams are there, the wishes are there, the fulfillment is there, the meaning, the measure, the fulfillment of the senses is going on. So let's look at her again. If I didn't already, not so sure. Okay. And it's called My Home is My Castle. You're leaving a bit of a wake behind you. Like you really are trying to turn on the speed a bit now and get it moving forward. But in that hurry, don't make a mess. You can increase speed, increase velocity, and get a move on without making a mess. Hurries produce nothing good, and they can often leave worthy things unnoticed, untouched, in the fuss, in the fluster. So really pull your energy in, contract it in, kind of like what's going on in the center channel of this card here. Contract your light inward, okay? And draw in your center, and that will help us find you. Find your missing pieces and parts. Recover your seed from that garden of insanity. It's hard work without any fruit for the toils of your labor. That's what you're letting me know. And of course you're showing it here, because in this wake is the Five of Pentacles. But what I recall hearing come out of my mouth in the channel a moment ago is, in the fuss and the fluster, in the hurry, you're leaving important things behind and you're coming up empty. Can you see the empty pocket here? And it's all right above you in your head in this beautiful world. I mean, look, that is your castle. The way you see things is the way they are. And that's what they were telling me in the cutting. Often I do shuffle off camera simply because cards speak to me. And it's not just the ones I see in the cut. It's literally the layers of the card. And they're like, no, one more card at the split. Because I can just get in a rhythm of wanting to just pump out readings. But that's not what I'm here for, and that's not what I'm about. I'm here for clarity, accuracy, information. Just like road signs, it's not like a dry erase board that you scribble up whatever speed limit you want on the side of the road that day. They're made, and they're made to measure. They're made for the specific leg of that journey. And so if I'm here to do this, I need to take care with how I do it. And so I would sit it and I would see that I need to thumb over just one more card before I split. And they kind of moved apart, and I would see it go from the Tower to the Victory card. All right. And then it went from repeating the same cycle to the Ace of Pentacles each time. And it said, you're one step away. But because you're now kind of moving out of character in a bit, because you're moving in a hurry, feeling like things are taking too long, you're misgauging and therefore being misguided. Okay? So you're really not coming up empty. You're just not able to see it. All right? Because you're looking down when they're asking you to hold your head up, to look ahead. Full steam ahead in your mindset. Don't hurry the hands and feet. Earth movement should be at a moderate pace, okay? And what we see that gives you is then the King of Wands. They're telling me it's something you can sink your teeth into. It's going to bring about that fulfillment of passion. Because you're like, we just want some fruit to feed ourselves, because then that strengthens you for the next leg of the journey, for the next day, for what is coming up. Being able to produce this motivation to kickstart the cycle, to really get the cycle of life going here, like your nest, to produce some harmony around you, some pleasantries. Okay, so down beneath my home is my castle. You have Lorelei. And here you're sort of feeling alone in this, left out in the cold, isolated, that type of thing. Worrisome is specifically what I hear. Worrisome is, how is this going to turn out? You know, feeling relegated to being different, maybe misunderstood, that type of thing. But these two cards are talking to each other, Lorelei and Can You Hear Me? It's deep calling unto deep, self calling unto self. And there you are, really in the shallows. We need to be honest about that, okay? You've set your anchor in the shallows, and you haven't moved on from here. But it's time to pull up that anchor, and they keep saying clearly, do you hear what's being said? Anger. Uproot your anger. Uproot your anger, and you'll be able to move on. I see it because I love it. So I'm calling these wings, and I know she is of the seas, so they're fish, but it's like flying fish. She has wings here, and you're letting me know you'll be able to move by leaps and bounds. And that's actually how you're created down in the under layers, is once you get on from the grudge of your heart. That's what you're telling me here. Once you get on from the grudge of your heart, everything you care about will begin to start. Whatever that means, okay? I'll take a listen back to this and get a deeper dive on that one. But letting the good stuff come to life. Stop getting in your own way. Be your own magic. Don't use your power and strength to move or manipulate others, because that doesn't change anything for you. And that's probably why the cry has come out, okay? Because with all the zodiacs, I've been seeing this spin through, and Chiron has been talking of, like, it is time for us to step into what is, you're saying least feared, but actually most feared, because it's the least of your worries. But that's the thing, it just sits around. I'm hearing like an ashtray on the coffee table. Like, that's a nasty image. It's just taking me back to like kind of those relics of the 70s and 80s, those big gnarly things that were just all grummy and dirty and putting out their perfume into the house. Ashes, dust, old ways. Put that behind you, okay? So under the Five of Pentacles, those empty pockets, let's see what we really have going on here. When you begin to take flight, when you begin to unanchor from your anger and move on to better shores, is what you're telling me. Better mindsets, more harmonious movement in and out of how you flow, okay? To move your own self, to use your own power to motivate yourself to move forward. We have the Ten of Pentacles. We have a happy hearth, happy home, fulfillment, the very thing that you were desiring here. No need to be better than anybody else, for whoever that message is for, okay? It's not that. It's not even a bettering of self. Like I know they say compete with yourself, but in this, I'm hearing compliment yourself. Do what is complementary of how you're made, how your energy flows. Get in agreement with it. Get on the same page with it. Otherwise, you're competing with yourself. And you're letting me know in that case it puts you at a disadvantage. You get setbacks, you get hardships, some losses, some misfortune is what you're telling me. And if that had a common outcome and a good in it, that would be great. But here it's an unnecessary is clearly what I'm hearing. You have your strand of pearls. You have your wisdom, your guiding light going. And get in line with that. Get on board and move full steam ahead, right? Flying right along, moving right along. So underneath the King of Wands, we have the Nine of Pentacles. Another happy card for you guys. With this nice earthy sign that you are. I love it. This is a well-shuffled, well-loved deck. I've had it for many months now. And so it's interesting that those two are coming out together. It's like it's going back and it is picking up the pieces, because we're moving from the 10 to the 9. And it's letting us know that they're saying personally and professionally that you have what you desire when you operate as you should, when you get into your true function, when you no longer betray yourself.
Cameo, what's up? How's it going?
That's my son Gray.
Yep.
He looks human now. He looked rough a few minutes ago. And we've decided anytime he's needing to bump around the house and make some noise, that rather than y'all wonder, what is that all about? Does she know what's going on? Yes, I do, but that way y'all can know what's going on. So we just agreed on having some beautiful interjections of life, some cameo. And his name actually means the wisdom of the radiant light. I love it. But so here you'll have stuff to enjoy. See, she's putting them in her pot, cooking them up. And I see in your heart a song here of desiring to share. Of you're saying moving right along, to be able to have the full measure of who you are and access to it as you please. Like you're showing me, if you have this harvest over your head, you have the dried herbs hanging in your kitchen. You also have that garden out back. We've rescued you from that garden of insanity. And the insanity is that it was bearing no fruit. It was not filling your belly. It was not fulfilling nor pleasurable or divine in any measure is what you're saying. But look at the smile on your face. Look at that pleasantry in your heart. Imagine what you're cooking up and concocting right there. I love that for you guys. And a little tea card slipped out to be chosen. I may spin a few more, but you're like, this is the one we want. Pick it. So let's take a look. Goldfish. Increase in material wealth, or, and I'm hearing, and spiritual growth. Because look, that little fishy is hungry. So what he is saying is, feed me, feed me. So nurture your wealth. Nurture your spiritual growth in order to nurture your wealth. You know, be at peace with your heart. Be at one with yourself. Take good care of yourself. Don't, they're saying do away with sedentary. You get set in your ways, and that can be your own undoing, the anchoring. Have some movement. That will produce increase because it creates momentum, which gets things going. It creates the cycle of life. And that's what they're letting me know physically as your feet begin to strike the earth. It's like creating the heartbeat of that drum of Mother Earth, getting it going, getting it pumping. And as you get the circulation, those sort of things going of your life force, not just your earthen body, the desire to nurture and to nourish yourself and the world around you, to see your place in it, and to be able to have enough to share. And we see that's not just how you're made. You're now on the page with yourself of it being your own heart's desire, the offering. I love that. So I think we will rest there. It's a beautiful reading, Taurus. I'm glad to have come to your rescue, I guess. And because I have strong Taurus as well, I'm going to sit and that side of the lens and take a listen back and gain the wisdom from this channel also. But be encouraged. The help is on the way. We've already activated those particles of your mind. Your spirit is already going as to how this information can be assimilated and applied specifically to your life. Listen to what your heart heard, not what you hear coming from my mouth, but what your spirit, your guides are leading and directing you in your path, okay? So I've enjoyed our time together, Taurus. This is Joy with Joy of the World. Saying see you soon.